If there's anything you should know about me, it's that I love space and astronomy. I've been fixated on it ever since I was a kid. And fun fact, I loved it so much that I borrowed a book in first grade and I never returned it. Don't tell anyone I did this. Today, I will be using 2 teams of Pokemon based on the planets and the solar system. If you like this kind of Pokemon team content, then please consider subscribing. I upload these kinds of videos twice a week, and I really appreciate it if you do. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a solar system team. I'm really excited about this team because I love space, and I might have taken this team a little bit too literally. So, special thank you to Edit King for this team idea. If you have any ideas for a Pokemon team, it could be any creative idea that you could think of or series, then please comment it down below and I will use it. Now, I have 2 interesting battles to showcase, and I hope you enjoy them. Now, I'm gonna swap into my Dondozo here against the Swords Dancing Garchomp. Now, this is actually an offensive Dondozo for Neptune. Now, the way I did this team was I included all of the planets, I included the sun and the moon, and I have the asteroid belt because I wanted to include like 12 different Pokemon. So, I'm just going to destroy the Garchomp with the Avalanche. Also, why does Avalanche activate Rough Skin / Rocky Helmet? I don't understand why it does that. It's literally like causing an avalanche. It's not doing any physical contact, right? So that's a physically offensive, it's a physically offensive Dondozo for Neptune. So I'm going to swap in my Electrode here. This is a physical Hisuian Electrode. I was kind of expecting the Amoonguss to want to Spore. So I was hoping that I would maybe go for like my normal gem explosion on this physical set. Now I have this for Jupiter because Jupiter has like that red spot, and I also thought it matched the colors fairly well, I guess. So it doesn't really do too much, but I do get off some okay damage with the normal gem explosion. That was the best I could do with my set. I have like Seed Bomb, Supercell Scam, and Foul Play on that. So I'm gonna swap in my Asteroid Belt. I thought that Minior was like the best considering it's like a meteorite. So speaking of meteors, I have a Power Herb Meteor Beam set on this. So this is a Shell Smash set as well with Acrobatics and Earth Power. It's actually a mixed set. Unfortunately, I missed my Meteor Beam versus this thing, but they try to Spore me, but I have my Shields Down ability, which is actually gonna prevent any status. So I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. So they're gonna go for the Foul Play versus me. That is not nearly gonna do enough for me, but unfortunately the Acrobatics doesn't do much. So they're gonna swap out and get the Regenerator recovery. So I was like, okay, well, I could at the very least go for an Acrobatics versus this Sableye. It's leftover, so I imagine that it's a very bulky Sableye. So I thought, well, it probably can't do much to me. I assume this Pokemon probably has like Will-O-Wisp and like Taunt Recover or something. So I'm going to go for my Meteor Beam again just because I don't expect this Sableye to do much. They go for the knockoff. That is going to put me in my Shields Down form. So I thought, well, this is good because now I'm in my offensive form. I am going to be able to get off a really powerful Meteor Beam at +2 special attack. So the Sableye is going to go for the Prankster Thunder Wave. Now that I'm not in my now that I'm not in my Meteor form, I'm actually going to be able to get status. That's a really cool interaction, by the way, with this Pokemon's ability. Not many people know that when it's in its Meteor form that it's like immune to status, right? So it's actually a really good way to dissuade that kind of thing. So the Charizard comes in. They see that I only have Meteor Beam, which is my only like way to hit this decently, and they're gonna be a Belly Drum Charizard. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's really threatening. I do have my Unaware Dondozo. I get paralyzed, unfortunately. I was like, shoot. I'm not able to get my Acrobatics chip, and they're gonna finish me off with the Flame Charge. So I was like, okay, this Pokemon is super boosted. It's definitely very threatening, and I do have my Dondozo, but I also have Rellor, the amazing Pokemon, for Pluto. So the Charizard is going to go for the Acrobatics. I have a Focus Sash Rellor. And I also have a Rock Tomb on this set. And Rock Tomb takes out Charizard. Holy smokes. Rellor taking out Charizard. You're not going to see that ever. So this Rellor is like a Focus Sash set. I'm running like Pounce, Rock Tomb, so both moves can like reduce the speed of the opponent, and I have Memento on that, and I have Gunk Shot. It's like an offensive Rellor. It's crazy. So the Dug Trio is gonna revenge KO me. I couldn't swap out. I was wondering if this Dug Trio had like not unaware, I'm sorry, that's my Dondozo. If the if the Arena Trap Dugtrio was Arena Trap, and it was. I'm sorry, I'm doing this narration at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I might have like already messed up my narration at certain points. So the Ambipom comes in, and they're gonna go for the fake out last resort. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's gonna absolutely annihilate my Dondozo. But I thought, well, I know that my Ghastly walls that like completely, but I can also set up on this freely with my keys. Now, this is an Iron Defense Calm Mind Stored Power Klefki with Draining Kiss as well for Saturn. I thought that this Pokemon was like the best for Saturn, considering it was the only Pokemon in this game that had like a circular kind of body with like a ring around it. That was my idea when it came to like using a Pokemon for Saturn. I would have used Kling Klang if that was in this game, but it's not. So I'm gonna set up my Calm Minds. I am Terra Flying on this, and so the Dugtrio is gonna go for the Earthquake, and that's not gonna do anything to me. So the Dugtrio swaps out, which I found very interesting. So I was like, is that Dugtrio? Is the Dugtrio Focus Sash? Or is it potentially like running like Choice Band or Choice Scarf? I wasn't sure yet. So I'm going to set up another Calm Mind in front of this Ambipom. And I thought, well, I'm +2 right now. I should be able to tank Last Resort from this Pokemon and do some big damage with Draining Kiss, hopefully taking it out. I'm running max health and max special defense on this Klefki. So I'm not really the most offensive Pokemon, but I am able to tank some hits. And I do have an Iron Defense up. But the Ambipom is going to go for the Terra Normal. I was like, okay, well, this is actually going to do some big damage despite the fact that I'm +2 in defense. So they're going to go for that Terra Normal Last Resort. Jeez, that does a lot of damage to me. And I'm going to go for the Stored Power, but Stored Power just barely misses the KO. Oh, and that was after like +2 defense and +2 special attack and special defense. So geez, I was like, okay, well, I have to swap out into Uranus for Ghastly because, you know, Uranus is a gas planet. So this Ghastly is Choice Scarf. And I thought, well, this Ambipom is cooked because it doesn't have any moves to hit me. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball, anticipating the Dugtrio to want to come in. So I'm going to get off some big damage, but unfortunately, I don't take it out. Now, this turn, I was like, does this Pokemon have Sucker Punch? If it has Sucker Punch, it easily takes me out, and I don't want to lose my Ghastly. So I'm going to swap in my Klefki, and they do have Sucker Punch. So I was like, okay, that's really good. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure if a Banded Sucker Punch takes me out from this range, but I am going to go for the Draining Kiss on this Pokemon because I don't want to set up, like, try to outplay the Sucker Punches. They swap out their Dugtrio. So I was like, okay, that should tell me that the Dugtrio is Choice Banded. And that's actually good news because, first of all, I Draining Kiss on the Ambipom and that takes it out. But second of all, I realized that if the Dugtrio is Choice Banded, then it could either go for Rock Slide versus me, like for the super effective hit, or go for Sucker Punch, which never KOs me, and I'll always be able to KO it. And if they go for Rock Slide and take me out, then my Choice Scarf Ghastly should always be able to outspeed it if this Dugtrio was Choice Banded. They actually missed the Rock Slide though, so I'm actually going to be able to take out the Dugtrio with the Draining Kiss. And that's the end of that first game. Seriously, I was really happy with that game. I was able to show off all of my Pokemon, and it was just a really good game overall. Hope you all enjoyed that game. And on to the second game. Now, this second team was really, really, really frustrating. Oh my god. So, I'm going to lead things off with Volcarona. Now, this team had the Sun and the Moon. Unfortunately, neither Solrock or Lunatone were in this game, but at the very least, I had Volcarona and Cresselia to suffice. Now, the Indeedee is going to come in, and it's going to be a Psychic Seed Indeedee, so I was like, okay, that's interesting. Now, with the Sun, I wanted to give it moves that were related to it being the sun, right? So this Volcarona has Sunny Day, it has Heat Wave, it has Solar Beam, and it has Morning Sun. So this set is based all around setting up the sun, and I'm running Terra Fire on this Volcarona as well, and I'm running Heavy Duty Boots as the items. And honestly, this Pokemon wasn't as bad as it sounds. Like, Sunny Day could help weaken like water moves. Unfortunately, it could also help boost the power of fire moves, which yeah, the Hisuian Typhlosion is going to benefit from. But they go for the Shadow Ball, so I was like, okay, that's good. I'm able to take that. And although I only have Heat Wave on my set, I am gonna do some good damage to the Typhlosion. Now, this is why I messed up big. So I'm going to swap into Earth. This is actually a Shell Smash Earth power Torterra with Terra Water because, you know, the Earth is 75% water. But I get a special defense drop on Shadow Ball, and actually Shadow Ball does way too much damage to me as well. I figured, okay, this first of all, the Typhlosion was Choice Scarf because it outsped me, outsped my Volk. But second of all, I really thought that I would be able to take two Shadow Balls from this Pokemon, but it ended up being, it was either modest or it got like a super max roll into the special defense drop, which was really bad. So yeah, that was definitely a huge misplay on my part, and really I didn't have the best Pokemon to answer this, so I had to go for the Lunar Dance on my Cresselia, which also had like moon based move. I had Moon Blast, Moonlight, Lunar Dance, and Trick Room. So I'm gonna swap in Citadel for Mercury. I thought it was like a spherical Pokemon that matched Mercury very well. So this is a Sheer Force Life Orb Citadel. I do some good damage to the incoming Caesar, so I was like, okay, that's perfect. I can go for the Icicle Crash and Revenge KO it. Except that I miss. I missed my Icicle Crash. I can't believe it. I don't even know why I didn't go for Liquidation again. I think I was expecting like them to like swap around into like Whimsicott or anything, but I really should have just went for Liquidation that turn. I seriously, this team was so frustrating, it like melted my brain. So I'm gonna take them out with the offensive Alola Geodude for Mars. Amazing. So there goes the Sneasler. Now the Whimsicott is gonna come back in. Now I have Heavy Duty Boots and counter on that Alola Geodude, and I'm going to swap into my Volcarona. Now, I do have my Lunar Dance stored, so my Volcarona is going to be back at full health. I wanted to mainly conserve this Pokemon just because of the fact that I did have my Lunar Dance Cresselia to always help my Volcarona. Moonblast gets a special attack drop versus me. Can I get a break, please? So Ursaluna Blood Moon comes in. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to set up the Sunny Day. Now, I do have Solar Beam, and you know, Ursaluna Blood Moon does not have very good special defense compared to its gargantuan defense, so I should be doing a lot of damage to this Pokemon. It does a lot of damage, but geez, if I didn't get that special attack drop, I would have just one-shotted this thing. So they're going to go for the Earth Power. That's going to do a lot of damage versus me, and they're going to go for the Protect. So I was like, okay, well, they're stalling out my Sun turns, unfortunately, so I should be able to take it out next turn, and I'm going to go for another Solar Beam. They are going to stay in with their Ursaluna Blood Moon, and I'm going to be able to take it out, thankfully. So I was like, okay, well, that's a very bulky Pokemon done, but they still have their Hisuian Typhlosion with the benefits of the Sun in the back, and they have this Hisuian Braviary as well. So unfortunately, I couldn't really swap out versus this Pokemon. It has very good coverage, and it has a wide array of options it could do, and they're going to go for the Esper Wing and check out my Volcarona. So geez, that special attack drop really messed me up, unfortunately. So I have my Geodude in the back with Heavy Duty Boots, but I also have my Fortress. Now, this was also a misplay. I should have brought in my Alola Geodude first instead of going into my Fortress, because I'm running a Power Trick Fortress, which is pretty interesting. I'm max defense, and Power Trick swaps my defense with my attack, so I'm going to be able to do some really big damage. I had to Terrasilize, though, because of the fact that this Hisuian Braviary had Heat Wave. So I'm Terra Electric on this. I'm running Terra Blast Electric as well. And I have Ice Spitter. I thought this Pokemon was like a very good Pokemon for Venus just because it matched the colors. That was my thought process when it came to like matching the Pokemon with the planet specifically. I know I didn't really go with like the Roman god angle with this team. I just thought that doing the planet like kind of angle was like more interesting and more fun, in my opinion. I lived the Flamethrower on 2 HP, and I'm able to take out the Hisuian Typhlosion. That was a crazy live, by the way. But unfortunately, Whimsicott is going to come in and easily Revenge KO and outspeed my Fortress. And this is why I feel like I should have went Geodude earlier, because if I went Geodude earlier, I could have Thunder Punched the Hisuian Braviary. I don't know if I would have even gotten close to taking that out, by the way. But I was adamant on this, and I did always have my Sturdy in the back, but the Whimsicott is going to Terrasilize into a Ghost type, and they are going to Moonblast. That is still going to take me down to my Sturdy, unfortunately, and I should have went for a Thunder Punch, actually, because I could have gone for a Paralysis endgame, but there was like 0% chance of that happening. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this game. Hope you enjoyed both games. Hope you enjoyed this team. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.